What's good YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. At Bridge Breaker, today I'm back with another video. So I found a really interesting thing. I can't let you cooperate, but I just found it interesting. Mm, there is this novel in it, Can You Mend My Broken Heart? Something like that. Let me just see. So many chapters that, yeah, Can You Mend My Broken Heart? Yeah. So this is the novel which I'm going to talk to you guys about, and then in Kama. There's so many. Nafika 534 chapters. So I'm going to discuss to you chapter 1. Chapter 1 another the title called that fateful collision. So I'm just going to read it step by step. Tuichambo kiasi. Hata kama the only thing I love about novels is about what's the two suspension. Yeah, about suspension. So I'm just going to start. Chapter 1, that fateful collision. At Changi International Airport, I need a ticket to New York ASAP, asked a barely three frail voice. Give me a moment to check, ma'am. The stewardess said politely and looked back at the screen typing into the computer. Ma'am, the earliest is CS Airlines, but the economy is full. Would you like to opt for the business class in CS Airlines, or shall I schedule you for tomorrow? Tomorrow? There is no way in which she could possibly bear to stay there for another night. Tomorrow was not an option for her. Can you please check for any last minute cancellations? I really need to go back. She she asked with a pair of pleading eyes and quavering voice. Seeing her seeing her plight, the stewardess asked, "Would you like to book a ticket in business class then?" All Akira could do was to nod, because right now that was the only choice that she had. The girl who always compared the yogurt brand prices to save a couple of cents didn't even flinch for a second as she swiped her credit card and shelled out 37 3700 US dollars. She tried she tried to restrain the tears prickling her eye, but it was becoming next to impossible to contain them. The pain she felt in her heart hounded her. All she wanted was a quick escape. So happened, so it all starts with a character called Akira, and the thing with Akira is that this novel starts at penye ameenda kwa airport, but she finds it compacted. So the stewardess asked her whether she could book another flight tomorrow or she could wait, but Akira herself could not wait. So instead the stewardess booked her a ticket to business class, and Akira could only agree. So let us continue. The pain she felt in her heart hounded her. All she wanted was a quick escape, an escape from the cruel and harsh reality of this world. She gripped her boarding pass tightly in her hand and rushed towards the security checkpoint. All she wanted to do was to get far away from this place as soon as it was humanly possible. She didn't think she belonged there. She was not meant to stay. After clearing her immigration, she went to the nearest information panel for flight information. As soon as she reached there, the huge screen flickered with an update. Red letters sprang out because the flight number beside the flight number destination. China Southern Airlines. Flight to JFK delayed. New boarding time 3:30 a.m. Her flight was delayed by 2 hours. 2 hours. Even the universe seemed to have contrived to imprison her, just like everyone else. Even fate was standing against her, thwarting her free will. She didn't bat an eye as she stared at the screen. With passing seconds, her spirit crushed further, lying in the dust on the ground, shattered into trillions of fragments. She took in a deep breath, trying to control her emotions to compose herself, but she failed miserably. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she fled away from the information panel. She was desperate to be alone, to find a hidden corner where she could unburden her tears away from prying eyes. So when she saw the sign to the washroom, she dashed towards it. She clutched her purse and started sprinting. But before she could even enter the lounge area, she bumped against someone. A head-on collision. His build was rock solid, so he didn't move an inch, but she fell down because of the impact of the collision. So kwanzia kwanzia hapo anasema ati venye alibukiwa hiyo business class, so it's like alikuwa anataka kulia, unaona, she didn't get to that flight yenye alikuwa anatarajia. Alafu tukienda kwa hapo kwa nasema ati anaona red letters sprang out beside the flight number and destination. And destination. Alafu wanasema ati hiyo flight yenye alikuwa ampangia, it was delayed by 2 hours. No, for 2 hours. So she felt like the universe seemed to have imprisoned her, unaona. So also her character trait is that she's emotional, unaona. Yeah, so she was trying to control the emotions, but it completely failed. So venye alichukua pasi yake akaanza kukimbia. Before entering the lounge area, aligongana na msee, lakini msee he didn't move an inch, but she fell down because of the impact of the collision. His musky, fragrant smell, which she had just inhaled, was suddenly overpowered with the smell of coffee within a split of a second. He was wearing an expensive suit. From the look of his shoes, she knew that he meant business. His coffee had spilled and the documents that he was holding were scattered all over the place. "I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry." Saying that, she immediately started collecting a few of the sheets which were strewn all over the floor. But she had no courage to lift her head up and look at him, as she didn't want him to see her in a messed up state. She didn't want to be pitied, so she stood up in a hurry, bowed to apologize, and proceeded to run to the washroom before he could utter a word to her. As soon as she found an empty stall in the washroom, she rushed to cry her heart out. Seconds became minutes, but the stream of tears didn't stop for quite some time. Finally, after she was able to tame them, she came out and started wiping her face in front of the mirror. At that moment, only did she realize how misheveled she looked. Disheveled means she looked miserable. No, alikuwa anakaa vibaya. So her character trait here, tunasema she was apologetic, whereby alianza kusema ati I'm so sorry. Alafu tunapata ati she also became emotional, yeah, and she was very afraid because akuwa anajua kama the man who mwenye aligongana na yeye ako anajua ataka kumfanyia, unaona. She was in the pajamas she had changed into yesterday night, and her hair was tied in a messy bun that looked more like a rat nest than anything that should be on a human head. All this crying had left her looking like an absolute mess, but she didn't care. She took out her phone, which was in silent mode till now. 57 missed calls, two from her brother and the rest from Anthony. She kept staring at the screen and then decided to check her WhatsApp messages. She had 220 unread messages, all from Anthony. She had started reading them one by one. "Babe, listen to me. It's not what you think. Can you please pick up my phones? Can you talk like adults? Do not jump into your captions, okay? At least hear me out. Do not overthink, babe. Just please pick up my call, babe. Where is my, where is your trust? Can you trust me this once? It's all in your head. I have nothing to do with her. She is just a friend, and you know that. I knew that you would prepare something for me and stay up late in the night, so I didn't tell you that I was back in the city. Trust me, babe. I had no other intentions. I have, I had no idea that Becky would come to surprise me. It was all her. Where are you, babe? Please talk to me. I love you, and only you, babe. Akira. Akira kept on scrolling down the messages. She wanted to believe in in his words and his logic. It hurt her to even wonder if all his feelings for her were false. Even though she had seen it with her own eyes, her heart refused to believe it. So tunapata kuna characters wengine hapa. So we have the brother, kuna hapa brother, and there is Anthony. So this, I think Anthony is the boyfriend to Akira. And when Akira opened those messages, she found 220 messages. So, and all these 220 messages were from his boyfriend. So she started reading one by one until Akira came to realize that all that feelings that Anthony had were false. She had come all the way from New York to Singapore to surprise her boyfriend. Little did she know that she would be the one receiving the shock of her life. Instead of surprising him, she found her life falling apart in front of her eyes. She gasped for air as she called that horrendous sight. But she knew that now was not the right time or the right place. So she tried hard to recompose herself and dialed the number. Bro, I'm coming back. And yes, you are right. Anthony is an asshole. And the dam broke again. Tears rolled down her eyes as she let the grief consume her. Author, dear reader, please do not forget to vote for me. Happy reading. And then chapter 2 is what the fuck. Okay, so I found out this chapter 1. Yeah, chapter 1. But this book is interesting. So hapa inaanzia penye huyu Akira ali book a flight lakini hakuwa amepata. So the stewardess booked a business class, isn't it? So Akira nodded. Juu hakuwa na jengine ya kuenda. So alikuwa anasikia uchungu moyoni ati what that she didn't get the flight that she hoped alikuwa amebook. So alichukua hiyo boarding pass yake akaenda kwa security checkpoint. So venye hiyo, so there was that huge screen flickered with an update inasema a red letter sprang out beside the flight number and destination. And destination, I think this is whereby it was famous China Southern Airlines. So this was the destination whereby Akira wanted to go there. So this unfortunately this flight was delayed for 2 hours. Even it says that even the universe seemed to contrive to imprison her. Even her fate was standing against her, thwarting her free will. So she tried to control her tears, but suddenly she can't. So we can see that she was emotional. And then as she took a pass, she bumped into someone, but huyo mwenye alikuwa amemgonga hakuwa hakuwa anasonga, a bit move an inch. So it was wearing an expensive suit. So huyu mwenye alikuwa amegongana na yeye, ma documents zilikuwa zimeanguka na hiyo kofi ilikuwa imemwagikia. So Akira was very apologetic. Alikuwa anasema ati I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Even hata hakuwa na ile uwezo wa kumface, unaona. So she decided to pick those documents and na kwenda. So after some time alichukua simu yake na akapata hizi silent mode, unaona. So akapata 57 missed calls, 2 from her brother and rest from Anthony. She kept staring at the screen and then decided to check her WhatsApp messages. So ningefanya tukikuna karatasi wengine. So unaona, there is the brother, but the boyfriend is called Anthony. So she decided to read those messages one by one, but Akira did not buy it. So akakuja akasema ati akakuja akasema ati nani, so which means Akira did not buy those apologies that Anthony gave to him. So it seems like all those feelings that Anthony had were false. So he came and texted the brother and said that, bro, I'm coming back, and yes, you are right, Anthony is an asshole. So which means that this brother did not trust this Anthony, the way from the relationship of Anthony and Akira started, and that's why she broke into tears. So I'm going to read you chapter 2, the next thing. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, subscribe, share, like, and comment.